What is going on, trainers? Drumvillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today we're taking a look at another Pokemon that got some move updates with the new season, and that is Manectric. Now, Manectric got access to Thunder Fang as a fast move and Overheat as a charge move, and we're not going to be trying out Thunder Fang because Snarl, that it already has access to, is just too good for generating energy, and this thing is all about firing nuke charge moves. So we figure we'll go with Snarl and then Wild Charge and Overheat. We had some mixed results with this thing. It sounds on paper like it's designed to take down Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk, but honestly, the Wild Charge does not one-shot an Azumarill. The Overheat with the Snarls does one-shot a Galarian Stunfisk, but also that Galarian Stunfisk is going to be putting some serious work in back at you. Even the mud shots are going to be chipping away at you because Manectric is incredibly squishy. So because of that, we've decided to actually run Manectric in the Remix Cup and build a team around it there, and we're actually going to be pairing it with Cofagrigus. We did a lot of matches and a lot of tests with different team comps, and actually Cofagrigus complements it quite well, or I at least feel that it does. And we're also going to be pairing it with Rainy Castform, and now Rainy Castform did get slightly nerfed because the Weather Ball got a nerf at the start of the season, but it's still a very strong and slightly unusual pick. The safe swap for this team varies depending on what kind of lead you actually see, but more often than not it's going to be your Rainy Castform. As always guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump into some battles. Right, so both of Manectric's charge moves do debuff it when you throw them. So the rough tactic in most matchups is you throw one charge move and then safe swap almost no matter what. So what we're going to do here against this Frostlass is we're just going to go straight for the Wild Charge. Frostlass is squishy. This would one-shot if it goes through unshielded anyway. And then we were hoping to swap out to the Castform and catch an Avalanche, but they throw straight away at the same time. I think it's a CMP tie. We're still going to swap out straight away because our defense is low with 2 stages, and even at that point the Powder Snows are going to start absolutely destroying us. We're going to take this move. It's a Shadow Ball. Hits us pretty hard, but we can survive it. And we want to save the shield for Manectric or for Cofagrigus, depending on what comes in. We swap out and bring in a Registeel, and Registeel isn't the best answer to Rainy Castform, but we are already very low from that Shadow Ball, so we're actually at risk of being lock-oned down, which isn't ideal. But I suppose we do still have a shield to shield something if we have to. A Focus Blast would one-shot Manectric. A Flash Cannon is not going to one-shot Coffee Boy, but it's going to do big damage. We're going to let the Flash Cannon go through because they decide to throw, which is brilliant for us, and we decide we're going to farm down completely with Coffee Boy. But they can't kill us with the Flash Cannon. They're not going to get to 2. We can Shadow Claw down and have a load of energy to threaten either the Frostlass if it comes back in or whatever else they bring in. And they decide to bring in the Frostlass. We actually farm down, which is amazing. We've got a ton of energy now, and we're just going to dump 2 Psychics at this. Was that a Shadow Machamp? It was. So we could take it out just with another Psychic, but we decide we're going to bring Manectric in, give him some use. We're going to throw a Wild Charge, and we're going to obliterate this Machamp. Kind of a high risk play because if Machamp farmed us down and got energy and potentially got to a cross chop and a rock slide and was able to bait us, we could potentially have thrown that match, but it's worth it to give Thunder Doggo a chance to shine. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the second matchup, and in this game I believe we get a Wormadam lead. Right, so we're going to swap out straight away, I think. No, we're not. We're going to build up and throw. Yep, same tactic as before, and I think that's fair. We're going to go for the Wild Charge because I think they're going to be pressured to shield either way, and this is still going to do big damage, and it saves a little bit of energy. We're going to safe swap into Cofagrigus. I think just because if they happen to throw a Bug Buzz, we would resist that, and we actually pull out a Wigglytuff in the back, which, I mean, Cofagrigus is a worse matchup on our team for a Wigglytuff, but look at that Psychic damage. Hits like a truck. We get to a second one, and this will just about KO the Wigglytuff if they let it go through. They're going to shield. They don't shield. Can we Shadow Claw? We actually do. In the 0 shield, we're able to take that matchup against a Wigglytuff. So Coffee Boy absolutely showing his strength there. And now they've got an Alomomola in the back. Those waterfalls are doing massive damage. So we're going to throw a Wild Charge, probably get the second shield, and then swap out to Rainy Castform. And we can put some work in here. If we win this matchup with Castform, we can probably get to a Thunder against a Alomomola, and hopefully that's going to be enough. Or if not, Manectric's probably got enough health to make it to 1 more Wild Charge, and that should definitely be enough to take out a Alomomola Alomomola is very, very bulky, but also Manectric is very attack weighted, so that wild charge is going to hit like an absolute truck. And you can see the rough tactic we're going for in just getting a shield, like forcing a shield with Manectric, swapping out, and then when Manectric comes back in, hopefully it's in a matchup where again it can force a shield if they've got one left. If they don't have any shields left by that point, we're going to be able to one-shot a lot of things in the meta. A lot of neutral matchups, the overheat hits slightly harder than a wild charge. If you can only throw one move before you go down, throw the overheat because it does hit just ever so slightly harder. But otherwise, generally wild charge is the one you want to go in for in a lot of matchups. We're able to take out the Alomomola there, and that's going to be a GG. We're going to jump straight into the next matchup against Greg's 420. Blaze it, my dude, you know what it's about. So, leading Manectric, and we pull a Quagsire lead. This is a bad lead, because Quagsire is going to be single resisting the wild charge. It's going to be resisting the overheat. It's worth building up and throwing anyway. And I think we're going to take a... Yeah, we're just going to swap straight out. I was going to say we managed to catch... I was going to say we're going to try and catch an Earthquake, and I presume we have here. Yeah, let it go through. It's big damage, because it's a stab Earthquake from Quagsire, but it's not the worst thing to let it go through. It's not going to one-shot, and they're bringing in a Greedent, and they're going to struggle to farm us down. They might be able to, because the Bullet Seed is super effective. Now, they're going to throw. I think we're going to let this go down, because otherwise they would be able to farm us down, and that much energy is not good news for our team. They've already got another Body Slam. I think we're going to let this go, yeah. We feel like Coffee Boy is probably going to be our win con in this matchup. We're just going to see if we can get a shield with this wild charge before we do go down. We take out the Greedent, which is nice. Does big damage, even though Greedent is super bulky. And we're going to swap straight out. Save that bit of health on Manectric. And even if all it serves is being a third shield later on in the game, we pull out Toxicroak, and this is fantastic because, as you know, Psychic is double super effective for the poison fighting typing. So Toxicroak will get one shot by a Psychic move if we manage to get it through. We don't have to worry about Sludge Bomb because Sludge Bomb is resisted thanks to the Ghost typing. So we can let a Mud Bomb go through. No need to worry about that. But they might get to 2 Mud Bombs before we get to one more. We decide to catch, we're going to use the Manectric, we're going to use the third shield, get it done, get that energy wasted. Now, as long as they don't catch this Psychic, which they don't, I don't think their switch clock is quite up yet because they stayed in with Quagsire a little while before they swapped to the Toxicroak. Now, we might be able to farm down, that's going to be a good game. So really, it's Coffee Boy that put in the work in that matchup, being able to potentially Shadow Claw down the Quagsire, and then being able to nuke the Toxicroak and just pull that win for us there. Manectric serving a nice purpose as a third shield. This matchup we pull a Diggersby lead, and again, that's absolutely awful for our Manectric. You better off throwing the Overheat if you're going to throw a move, but honestly, we felt quite threatened straight off the bat. We figured it's worth swapping immediately into Rainy Castform, see what we can do. We pull out a Wigglytuff, which is pretty nice because this means that Cofagrigus doesn't have to see it. We might get to one more Weather Ball. So we're either going to get both shields here or we're going to get switch advantage, which is a very nice position to be in. And we can't farm down with Manectric because the Snarl is resisted and we will get charmed into oblivion by the time we get there. We're going to bring him in anyway because we feel like Manectric is kind of... Well, I think we were considering sacking Manectric there, but we decided we're going to actually shield up, save all that health because it probably would one-shot a stab play rough. We're going to go for the most aggressive Shadow Claw down you've ever seen right now. And this is insane. They're going to get to an Ice Beam, which is awful because now we've given up our second shield as well. So now we're really not in a very good position. If we could have finished that Charm down, that Shadow Claw down, sorry, and saved the shield for Manectric, there might have been some hope. But we're going to lose that energy. We don't quite get to the second Psychic, which is absolutely awful for us. We're going to bring in a Frostlass. And again, if we'd have had the shield to shield this Avalanche, build up way more energy, like to 100, throw the Overheat at the Frostlass and then one at the Diggersby, maybe there'd have been a chance. But losing that energy is just way too big of a... Losing the shield and that energy, way too bad for us. Going to be a good game all the same. Manectric has great nuke potential, but really can't hold its own without a shield. So, we pull a Nidoqueen lead. Again, awful lead for Manectric. We really maybe should have put him in the back, but you never know what you're going to run into, and it's just the luck of the draw. They actually bring in an Empoleon to our Rainy Castform, We decided we're going to bait with the Weather Ball, expecting them to shield. They don't. So we absolutely should have just thrown the Thunder, because maybe they didn't realise that Rainy Castform learns Thunder, and that would have definitely one-shot, and then we'd have had switch advantage to get our Cofagrigus against that Nidoqueen, which is a very good matchup. We do want to get switch, and they don't shield again. So we're going to have to drop both shields now. If we'd have just thrown a Thunder, we'd have been looking a million times better in this matchup, but instead, we're just going to farm down now. We are going to come out with quite a bit of energy, but we're at quite a disadvantage here, being down 2 shields, and Manectric can't really take a hit to save its life. They've got an Obstagoon in the back, so switch advantage would have been perfect if we'd have still had more shields, because we could have put Manectric on the Obstagoon to absorb some energy, and then we could have put Cofagrigus on the Nidoqueen. We're going to swap straight out to Manectric, because we know we're going to need Rainy Castform to force a shield out of this Nidoqueen probably. They're going to swap in and throw, which is kind of better than being farmed down, but also we lose that energy. We don't get to throw an Overheat at the Nidoqueen. So we're going to bring in Coffee Boy, start building up some energy, hopefully get a shield with these Psychics maybe, but it's really not looking good. We are not in a good spot here. We're still down 2 shields, and we are getting shredded fast by these Pokemon. So Obstagoon comes back in. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball, because Shadow Ball will hit Obstagoon. No, it won't. We should have thrown the Psychic. This is dumb. We get the shield either way. They realise they got to shield something, and now they're going to throw. Can we get to 2 Weather Balls on this Rainy Castform? I'm not guessing so. We'll probably get counted down actually before we get there. We're pretty low at this point. We do get the second shield. Now we get counted down. That's going to be a good game. So despite a bad last couple of games, we do manage to pull a 3 and 2 in that set, which I think with 2 experimental Pokemon, I mean, we know Coffee Boy is actually pretty good, and Manectric has mixed results, it seems, at best. But being able to pull a 3-2 with something you never used before, I think, is pretty solid. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some battles that are still with Manectric, but in different team lineups. I was experimenting with some different teams that I thought would pair well with it, and I'm just going to show you some of the more interesting matchups that I think there's something to be seen or learned about Manectric's gameplay from. Okay, so in this matchup, we're running Castform on the front to cover against ground types, and then Manectric and Registeel in the back. So we're going to swap into Manectric straight away, because Manectric is, well, both Manectric and Registeel do very well against Pidgeot. So we figure we might as well swap into one of them and try and shift this matchup, see what they want to do. Manectric can make a very dangerous safe swap because of its potential to nuke so many different things in the meta. We're able to get a shield out of that Pidgeot, but we also have to shield ourselves, because even though the flying moves are resisted at that point, they would take us out. They swap into a Greedent, and we've got like 100 energy. We've got 2 wild charges here. So we're going to throw both of them back to back and see how much damage this is going to do, how much it's going to put in. It's a little less than 50%. So if you had a Shadow Manectric, I think that a double wild charge would be enough to knock out a Greedent. The double wild charge for a regular Greedent is not quite enough. They are forced to throw to take us out, because we're about to get to another wild charge, and that's another good thing about safe swap Manectric, is you can just go absolutely nuts and just spam those charge moves. You know, you don't stress about the debuff, you're just there to get shields or get swap. And now we're going to go for a very aggressive farm down with Registeel. We want to get to 100 energy, farm this thing down with Lock On, because we know the Pidgeot's not going to want to come in against that much energy, and then we can just take out whatever might come in with that energy or get a shield. Swap out to Castform to get a head on energy there as well, and the Pidgeot comes in because it knows that we have a Registeel in the back, so it definitely wants to stay away from that matchup. We're going to go straight for the Weather Ball. We still get a shield, because this trainer probably knows that we have access to Thunder and doesn't know how much energy we've got. Now we're all out of shields. They're out of shields, we're out of shields. We're going to throw the Flash Cannon straight away, get rid of this Pidgeot. We don't want to get Feather Danced and get debuffed, because that's going to ruin our potential to one-shot whatever's in the back. And they've got a Typhlosion. So the question is will this Focus Blast one-shot a Typhlosion in the Great League? It's a lot squishier than Ultra League. We go for it, bang! That's monumental damage, but it's not quite enough. So this Typhlosion is going to take us out, and that's going to be a good game. Okay, no more messing about. Are you guys ready to see Manectric absolutely put the work in and absolutely decimate a team and annihilate everything? This is the matchup. Okay, we pull a Gallade lead. It's a pretty neutral lead for Rainy Castform. Gallade does have access to Leaf Blade, which would one-shot, but also the water gun is really chipping away, adding up, and this would do massive damage. So we do pull a shield here. We're going to just keep chipping away, and we figure this is worth shielding because we think we can get to this second weather ball, but they're actually at 2 leaf blades here, so they're going to take us out. We're not going to shield this, and we decide, you know what, we're going to farm down this Galade. We're going to farm down with Snarl because this thing's so squishy, and we're going to have all the energy in the world to annihilate whatever comes in to meet us. Shield the leaf blade, that's fine. You see the confusion's doing massive damage. What are they going to bring in? It's an Alolan Sandslash. We're going to go straight for the overheat. This is double super effective. It goes through, bang! Alolan Sandslash gets absolutely annihilated, and they've got a Frostlass in the back. Again, weak to that overheat. So we're going to bring in the Registeel because we got a double attack debuff from throwing the overheat. And the flash cannon here from Registeel would one-shot, and we're just going to build up and go for another one. But we don't mind if they Shadow Ball and take us out, which they do just before we get to the flash cannon, so that's amazing counting from this opponent. But we're already pretty much at another overheat here. We were at 100 energy. We're going to throw, this is going to annihilate the Frostlass as well. Bang, Frostlass get out of there, and Manectric takes out every single Pokemon on that team. GG. Okay, we got one more matchup that we want to talk about with you guys, and I'll leave you with a matchup against a Bastiodon, and you can see how Manectric performs there. So, in this game, we pull a Dewgong lead. Dewgong League's pretty good for Rainy Castform because Rainy Castform is resisting all the moves, and we have access to Thunder that will hit for massive damage. Doesn't matter if they debuff us, it's still probably going to hit for more than 50%. They swap out into a Cresselia, and we stutter for a second and actually throw a Thunder at the Cresselia before just bringing in Registeel. Really, we should have just brought in the Registeel straight to Cresselia and not worried about throwing any energy. Initially, especially not a Thunder, we should have thrown a Weather Ball if we were going to throw anything at this thing. It doesn't matter, we're going to bring Registeel in onto this, and this is a very solid matchup. It's a very dominating position, Registeel. It resists all the moves from Cresselia, whether it's Future Sight, Moonblast, Grass Knot. They will add up over time if you let them keep throwing. Like, we can't farm down with Lock-On from here as much as we'd like to. Cresselia has too much health. So I'm going to throw a Flash Cannon way under charge. It still KOs. We should have just not tapped any bubbles at all. And they bring in a Victreebel. A Shadow Victreebel, Shadow Razor Leafer. You guys are probably sick of seeing these things if you've been playing for the last few seasons. But we're going to get a shield out of him with the Flash Cannon. And can we make it to one more? We can, just. This is very clutch because we're going to be up 2 shields. And we've got Manectric. And we have Overheat that'll one-shot a Victreebel. And we've got Wild Charge that will do massive damage to Dewgong. So we're going to shield this up. We're suspecting a Leaf Blade, and it is a Leaf Blade, so we're lucky we shielded that because a Shadow Leaf Blade will probably take us out. But look at that Razor Leaf damage. It's absolutely eating away at us. So we're going to do something a bit unconventional here. We're going to swap into Rainy Castform to get to this Weather Ball to take out this Victreebel. And I mean, we took massive Razor Leaf damage there, but we figured that Castform can't one-shot Dewgong, but maybe Manectric can. Will this Wild Charge be enough to take out this Dewgong in the Great League? Bang! Absolutely wrecks Dewgong, takes the win. Very spicy gameplay, bringing Rainy Castform into a Shadow Victreebel, but it totally worked out for us and was our win con because that Thunder would not one-shot the Dewgong. So we had to do it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing some Manectric gameplay. Let me know if you've tried using it yourself, if you've had any luck, you found any good team comps for it. And I'm going to leave you guys with this matchup to play away. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to hit that button, it's free, and you can keep up to date with when we upload more teams. We're probably going to focus on some harder meta teams that are more focused on proper top tier performance for a little while before we go back to more experimenting in this season. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're already subscribed, you're an absolute legend, and I will catch you all next time.